Sure.
You there? Hi.
I'm there. Hi.
Good. Okay. We are recording and we are working and we are almost ready to roll. Now, why don't you go back to what you were saying about, after you came, and then as you talk, you can walk left and right. Don't walk any further. Go to your left. Right now, right in there. His jawbone. Don't go any further than that. And then don't go any further than that bush there.
Okay.
So walk back and forth.
Okay.
Let's take this jawbone out of the shot because it's a big thing. Show me your brush. We're seeing your whole body here.
What?
Seeing your whole body here. So gotta not have things. You wanna hear something?
Well, that's using the brush as a prop, that's all.
I don't want to use the brush.
You want to give me the jacket and I can just throw that over my shoulder? What's that?
Be groovy.
Okay, I won't break it.
If anybody ever asks you why I gave you fluorescent bulbs, you didn't have anything else. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what I need you to do, just put it on the ground for a second, and give me. Need you to clap your hands. Okay. Now wait. Let me get rolling first. Just clap them one time solidly. Okay. And stand by. Wait till I'm rolling. Like that. Wait till I'm rolling. And action. Okay. Pick up your thing.
Pick up my thing?
All right, now what were you saying about the coming to LA, sunset?
Oh, coming to LA. Yeah, after I had my Coke and my great Mrs. Fields chocolate chip cookie, I got back in the car and I drove up to Sunset Boulevard because I wanted to see where Norma Desmond had been, in Sunset Boulevard. I mean, like that was the ultimate fantasy. Sunset Boulevard, big houses, aging movie stars. I mean, that was what Hollywood was about. And so then I drove up there, and sure enough, there were these big mansions, big houses, lots of statues, lots of walls. I mean, it was total fantasy. I know what's behind those places. So I'm driving along, and all of a sudden I see the sign to the right, to the left, over there. That's right. For UCLA. So I drive down into UCLA and I'm thinking, whole time I'm thinking, is this a possible place that maybe I would like to live? You know, it's congested like New York, and it's got lots of little shops, which I'd like to see, winding streets, cute houses. I mean, it was great. It's just great. So I kept that in the back of my mind, and then I just kept driving, and I drove along Wilshire Boulevard. I drove and drove. And then all of a sudden I came to a stop because the street dead ended. And there in front of me, never ever seen the Pacific Ocean before, because remember the night before it was too foggy to see it. I couldn't even see the runway. And so anyway, I got out, parked the car, and just walked along this beautiful park. Just, God, it was incredible. I'll never forget that. And there were these big palm trees and lovely park benches, and I thought, boy, Westwood is nice, but Santa Monica was something else. So anyway, I got back in the car, and then I just kept driving, and I drove straight down the coast until almost Palos Verdes. And I'll never forget, I pulled over in Manhattan Beach, and I got out, and it was like this cathartic realization. I mean, in front of me were these people working out running, stretching, bicycling, roller skating. They were all tan and handsome and beautiful and blonde. And I mean, I just looked at me, and here I was, and I had this face, you know, that was all pasty. I'd been in New York all summer, and, you know, I just felt quite out of shape, and I thought, oh my God, it's just like they always said about California. I mean, I couldn't believe it. You know, all those Max Factor ads and all those Beach Boys songs and, you know, all those orange juice commercials. I mean, they really were as beautiful and as handsome and stunning as I'd always thought they were. So.
So then what?
So then.
Then what did you do with yourself?
What I do with myself, I went home and immediately had a big piece of chocolate cake because I was so depressed. And then, you know, I swore I'd never be part of that scene. I mean, I'd never join a health club. You know, I wasn't part of that. I was, you know, I was from the East Coast. The East Coast people didn't do this. And, you know, I'd never bleach my hair blonde, and, you know, I'd never wear real tight-fitting clothes. And what do I do now? You know, I belong to a health club. I put sunning in my hair. And, yeah, I do wear, you know, at times when I think I can get away with it, I do wear fairly tight clothes. So, you know, I really bought into the whole thing. And you know what? It's pretty nice. So, I don't know.
Who did you meet out here?
Oh, God, I met this guy. Well, I had to meet quite a few guys before I met this one guy.
Tell me about all of them.
All of them? Well, there weren't that many, actually.
All three of them, then.
All three of them?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, right.
5, huh? How about 10?
No. No, things were pretty quiet, pretty dry. Pretty dry for a long time. So, no, let's see, there were most of the people I met were kind of people I knew through school. There was a guy that worked for Touche Ross. He was a real jerk. He lived in Brentwood. He had a waterbed, I remember that. God, I got seasick on that. Then there was a guy in San Francisco. He worked for McKinsey. He said, I'm dealing with all these consultants. I don't know, maybe I needed a consultant in my life. And he was just a jerk, but boy, he had a beautiful place overlooking Golden Gate Bridge. And then there was another guy who was a real weirdo. He lived off Sunset Boulevard. God, what a nut. And, I don't know. Then there was this guy who was this brother of this friend of mine who actually knew this other guy, which we'll talk about later. But I went out for him for a little while. He lived in Huntington Beach. But it was pretty dry. It was pretty dry until I met this one guy.
Then what happened?
Oh, I went on a hayride and went to a square dance. And I thought,
What hayride with this guy?
well, I didn't even get on the hayride with him. He got on with me. I didn't even know he was there. But I went to this party out in Malibu Canyon, and he was there. He spotted me, naturally. He has much better eyes than I do. And we just kind of got together. He told me he was a cab driver from New York, and he thought I was from Sarah Lawrence. And, you know, he told me he worked in Hollywood, and I kind of thought, boy, this guy's really strange. I can't believe it. He thinks he's a cab driver from New York. He thinks I'm from Sarah Lawrence. What is somebody in Malibu Canyon thinking all this stuff, okay? So, anyway, he gave me his phone number. He asked me for my phone number. I wouldn't give him my home number, you know. I'm just not that kind of person, you know. I'm real risk averse. And he wrote it down, or no, he didn't write it down. He had it in pencil, so he just remembered it. And he called up the following Monday. Couldn't remember my name, but at least he remembered the phone number. Talked to my girlfriend I'd been with there at the party, and said he wanted to get hold of me. And the rest is history. I was out of town. He came to meet me as soon as I got back in town. Showed up at my house at 10:30 at night, and I thought, this guy, that's really amazing for him to be even mobile at 10:30 at night. But there he was with a bottle of wine and a big happy smile and nice, wonderful personality that he has, and he just said, well, let's go for a walk on the beach. So we went for a walk on the beach. He showed me his new car. I thought it was all really nice. And then he invited me to a Halloween party. And then I couldn't go to the Halloween party, but I did go out to dinner with him about 10 days later. And it was pretty neat. And about 3 3/4 years later, we got married. And that was the absolute best day of my whole life. And the most fortunate thing that ever occurred to me. So I'm real happy that he liked to get on hay rides. So, anything else? No, let's see. What else? Well, yeah, I think so. We live in this place in Venice now. It's got lots of ducks in it. Venice is an interesting place. Interesting like the whole state of California is interesting. You're never quite sure what you're going to find. Everything is really kind of unprepared for you. I mean, I think this whole state is so beautiful. I mean, you've got these big mountains and these gorgeous deserts, and I mean, I went to 3 national parks in one weekend once. I thought it was just terrific. I mean, Yosemite is wonderful. God, the Eastern Sierras are incredible. You know, there's something about this place which is just mystical, and I think if I ever left it, I would always dream about it. It would haunt me and want me to come back. So I think I'm here for good. It's an absolute godsend that I got out here, that I found this state, and I found this person I'm in love with. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better thing. I mean, I take the guy over the state, but the state's pretty nice, you know. So, you know, that's about it. You're welcome.
They don't have any soft ice cream.
What? What's wrong?
Oh, is it?
Раз, два, три, огонь!
Калинка, калинка моя, жару я громалинка, малинка моя. Калинка, калинка, калинка моя, жару я громалинка, малинка моя. Калинка, калинка, калинка моя, жару я громалинка, малинка моя.
Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. Der israelische Verteidigungsminister Esser Weizmann hat heute die Absicht seines Landes bekräftigt, in der kommenden Woche den Friedensvertrag mit Ägypten zu unterzeichnen. Weizmann verhandelte heute in Washington über die künftige amerikanische Militärhilfe nach Abschluss des Abkommens. Der amerikanische Sicherheitsberater Zbigniew Rybczynski ist nach Kurzbesuchen in Saudi-Arabien und Jordanien in Kairo eingetroffen. Rybczynski hat bei seinem Werben für den Nahostfrieden nur Teilerfolge erzielt. Saudi-Arabien und Jordanien lehnen das Abkommen weiterhin ab. Im Gegensatz zu Jordaniens König Hussein will der saudi-arabische König Khalid sich jedoch nicht an einem Boykott gegen Ägypten beteiligen. In Laos wächst die Angst vor einem möglichen Krieg mit China. Die Regierung in Vientiane, die mit Laos verbündeten Vietnamesen und die Sowjetunion werfen China vor, an der gemeinsamen Grenze Truppen für einen bevorstehenden Einmarsch zusammenzuziehen. In sowjetischen und vietnamesischen Berichten hieß es, bewaffnete chinesische Kommandos seien bereits nach Laos eingesickert, um eine militärische Aktion vorzubereiten. Der Iran will sich nach seinem Austritt aus der zentralen Paktorganisation CENTO der Bewegung der blockfreien Staaten anschließen. Dem CENTO-Pakt gehörten bisher die Türkei, Pakistan, der Iran und Großbritannien an. Die Türkei und Pakistan sind inzwischen dem Beispiel des Iran gefolgt. Ein Regierungssprecher erklärte in Teheran, sein Land habe die Bewegung der blockfreien Staaten bereits schriftlich von den Beitrittsplänen informiert. In der Nähe von Moskau ist gestern ein sowjetisches Verkehrsflugzeug vom Typ Tupolev 104 abgestürzt. Die Maschine befand sich auf dem Flug von der sowjetischen Hauptstadt nach Odessa. Die sowjetische Nachrichtenagentur TASS teilte den Absturz mit eintägiger Verspätung mit und gab bekannt, dass das Unglück Menschenleben gefordert habe. Die Agentur machte keine näheren Angaben. Die Verkehrsmaschine kann bis zu 155 Personen befördern. Österreich.
Proszę jeden bilet. Dziękuję. Dzień dobry. Proszę pana, czy nie ma pan jakieś nowe, ciekawe, wie pan, książki?
Tak, mam coś.
Ładne.
Proszę.
O, świetnie, proszę pana. Już bardzo, dziękuję panu bardzo. Do widzenia panu. Zosiu, no to relaks, swoje rączki. Świetnie pani wygląda, jak zwykle.
No, dziękuję bardzo, komplementy z pana, to tak świetnie wygląda.
Nie, ja nie mam czasu, żeby zadbać o siebie należeć. Po prostu sobie postawiam własną parę. Zosiu, może teraz korzystamy z okazji, wpadniemy tutaj do baru.
Nie mam czasu, ale skoro pan tak panie, to bardzo
No, no, proszę. Dzień dobry, słucham tej herbatki, proszę. Pani Zosiu, kupiłem książkę. Może pan nie znać. To jest dużo uprzejmie. To jest świetna książka. To jest coś bardzo ciekawego. Proszę, ja miał księgarnię.
A ostatnio to?
Tak.
Będę musiała zaraz.
O tam. Tak, koniecznie. Tak, pani Zosiu, no znakomicie pani wygląda, znakomicie.
Dziękuję za barwę, tak.
No, bez przesady.
Widział pan ostatnio ten film?
Tak, widziałem świetny film, o tej facecie z tak, bardzo interesujący. Ja pani dawno nie widziałem.
No przepraszam pana, że przerwałam spiesznie.
Oj, szkoda, tak było przyjemnie. Robota się.
No dziękuję.
Tak, dziękuję, do widzenia. Proszę pana, przepraszam, wie pan, zapomniałem tą książkę. Tak, proszę bardzo. No wie pan, zagadałem się ze znajomym, przepraszam. Do widzenia. Co u diabła? Cholera.
Która godzina, przepraszam?
Proszę pana, jest jakaś 11:30, ale proszę pana, wie pan, on się spieszy, pan. Minutę, 2 minuty w tą.
Dziękuję.
Proszę bardzo.
Przepraszam pana.
A tak, oczywiście, no.
Pan tak.
Proszę.
Dziękuję.
No, nie ma za co. Jasne, że tak.
Urząd i zamknięty.
No właśnie, proszę pana. Przychodzę dzisiaj 3. raz i ciągle zamknięty. No przez są godziny urzędowane teraz.
Ej, panie, diabli wiedzą, kiedy to otworzy.
Też jest sobie pan zdziwiony.
Ta oranżada zupełnie nie nadaje się do
Jak to nie odejdzie?
To pan mógł uważać. On nic nie zrobił.
Thank you.